Dear viewers, I'm fortunate enough to have catched Louise Klarsten from Colour House. She's a trend forecaster, and we will go through the trends for the autumn 2012. And the company name is A+A, I think.
A+A Design Studio Milano is one of our partners, yes. So I thought that would be a good idea to look into what they have to say about the season and the reactions we have from the Scandinavian market on these trends.
So we are very curious. Please let us look.
First, I'd like to show you Café de Flore. Café de Flore is revisiting the past in a way where we really want to be true nostalgic. We want to look back at real dark brown and medium brown colors. We would like to catch the moment of those were the days in terms of lifestyle, not only on the colors of fabrics, but also on the way you live, a little bit slower, a little bit more softer, student years maybe. And of course, Café de Flore, famous cafe in Paris, have had generations of young students sitting there dreaming about their future. What we do here is dream back, but also dream forward. And I see a very young target group here who maybe have been buying, really, really crappy, old stuff in a vintage fair, and now upgrading, but still wanting to create a kind of nostalgic look. They do like these colors. They are derived from the past, so still a lot of 30s and 40s going on, but more about the warmer colors that we were so much flirting with in the 70s. Yellow is one of the key colors as a solitaire, or just something you would go brave with if you like. Leather, of course, very important with this type of surfaces here, and the patterns have a kind of masculine attitude, which I think is great, where you work with those almost British style gentleman's type of patterns that you remake and develop. We can also see the importance of reliefs, where it's floating between the different areas. This could be a coat with the idea of something softer, more rounded shapes that floats into a sofa, sharp lines, but a very round idea and very soft and cozy. And we want to sit there and reflect. So leaving a little bit the very strict area of form and being more softer, more or less, either over the whole surface or a part of it, like here.
Yes, I understand now that the fashion and the furniture fashion, so to say, are melting very much together and more or less very similar.
Inspiration is just floating in between these different areas, and in fact all different lifestyle areas where there is a kind of design thought involved. Nature is inspiring us all, the past is inspiring us all, and the future even. So I have worked with this almost 30 years, my God, and I think it's very interesting to see how we are very much in our sign in the times. So the same trends, in different areas at the same time, which is perfect because it's more about my personal style and the way I want to live my life and dress and decorate my home or for that matter my office. We might go a little bit more graphic. We see that we want more pattern again here in a very subtle way, in a very sharp way, but sometimes a little bit more bold, which is interesting. So this area, I think, is growing. If we follow that line and say, okay, we see the browns coming through for real now. It has taken a long time, but that warmness. We also see a lot of the wine, the purples coming through. So Do Not Disturb is a story, color-wise, more about these burgundy colors that were so big in the past, and not that is to say in the 70s, very big. Muted colors in between, a little bit soft gray, very feminine, thinking maybe, feminine attitude in shape, form and inspiration. So we see a kind of flirty but strict kind of light environment here happening. And listen, we don't have an interiors where the television is telling the order of the furniture. We are putting furniture so that people can meet and talk to each other, and that's the whole conversational way of setting up furniture also in the private homes. So because anyway, people look at television when they want on a computer on their lap anyway. So why do we make furniture for one's wall with the television in the? That's past. We see also the ornamental beauty, where we see the darker side of this, maybe more masculine, maybe more almost like masculine boudoir, if you can say that, type of feeling. Definitely more oriental inspiration. So that's a little bit interesting to see where that's going. Time to dream. I have to mention the way we treat so-called pastels. They're not really pastels. They're either very, very pale or tinted to be more sharp, so they're almost a little bit electric, and not real colors somehow. There's definitely a very Asian flirt here going on, from tradition, I guess, from poetry, dreaming away, very smooth kind of way. I can see a lot of if you say furniture coming up where you could divide a room with something which is sort of semi-transparent, and you can hide a little bit behind it, but not totally. So I think that's cool to see. We also see how here, in a very soft way, we put up more print on the wall. So definitely stop painting the wall. We will start putting wallpaper on the walls and the whole room, actually. So here, in a very soft, almost a little bit poetic way, not so strong and forceful, but there are other ways to do it. Opposites attract is a bit more about the dark and the light, but I think more interesting is to talk about something else. Something else is a lot about bright colors mixed with bravery. So super bright yellows, sort of very bright pink, this kind of greeny celadon kind of color, and we don't mix it with white. No, we mix it with a sandy beige color, and a quirky mix of color. It derives from working in a more, how do you say, almost like a fun and joyful way of being, a little bit folky, a little bit making the urban more alive. People live there, they want to have fun there. They go to the park, and they even design the park to look like a funny pattern instead of making something dull and grey. So the competition in between the cities in the world to be the most fun and interesting city to live in is continuing, which is great. So in this area, if we want to go really bold, we could with neutrals, but also hyper hysterical, of course, on the border stuff here. But I can see people want to go for that, just to be crazy and to add a solitaire to your life, a shoe or a chair, and to flirt there. I think that's really, really cool. Here, maybe we would have the combination of them too, the artificial together with the rustic and natural, almost patinated areas. So that kind of illuminant pink together with that raw wall is such a great idea. And also this transparency. Classical, yes, but certainly with a big twist on. So that's great. Yeah. And finally, always chic. Coming back where we started, we believe a lot in individuality, trying to mix the old and the new, which is maybe not a new idea, but to go a bit further with that, to design more the whole idea, not just to put one solitaire there, but to make colors and patterns and odd pieces put together in a much more well-thought idea. So now that consumers are so interested into design and want to mix the old and the new and really make their own style at home or in their offices, I think this is where we're heading. So certainly with the flirt again to the 70s, where we look for this forever chic idea, it's certainly there, shape and form from the 70s. And why not go bolder on the walls? I don't know here, Annika, if you would dare to do a patchwork like that, or even cover one room with one of those very bold, gigantic patterns. But the whole idea is not to be perfectly matched and tone in tone, but to be anything but that, just to explore pattern mixes and make the whole room darker and more live, and not a light room, very far from this white light room that we have seen so many of. And I think we finished with that story.
It gets a little bit more cozy then, and also we have so much very intelligent light now to anyhow we can
We can create, the house can change with the day, with the person. We haven't started to explore that. And when you go to Milan, you see these fantastic intelligent light systems, and you wonder how on earth is that going to happen in my life soon, hopefully. But step by step, we're heading there, and certainly there is still a lot of light missing in the homes. I don't know about the rest of the world, but in Scandinavia, there is a lot to do there, and you can really make this daylight kind of thing sometimes. And there are so many good solutions now that really is also energy saving. So with the LED light solutions, I mean, we have a lot of possibilities. So therefore, we could go more bold and more cozy. And in a very hectic world, we also want to make people feel comfortable and more being able to cuddle and feel at home.
Yeah, I look forward to this. Really,
Yeah.
very, very cozy. Very
Yeah.
cozy. I think I would dare to use this. Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so good. We'll see that next year then.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.